Okay. So payroll process, we have usually two different ways in which you can do the payroll processing. One is one employee at a time, for which we run the quick pay. Okay. And the second one is the payroll process, which is for a group of employees. So group of employees can be based on different criteria. For example, everybody belonging to a particular payroll, right? Look at a global, these IT companies, you have employees located in UK, US, Europe, Australia, South Africa, where, different countries, different geographies, different locations. So everybody can be clubbed by using the employee. So by using the payroll, for example, you can say US payroll, UK payroll, South Africa payroll, right? And you assign. So if in the system, you have everybody belonging to a particular payroll, right? So when we submit the payroll or the quick pay, it will ensure that elements are processed from the element entries along with their attached formulas, right? After processing, final values are put in pay value that we have seen. Next step is to generate the prepayment process. This will look at the bank information of the employee and generate the payment instructions.
Okay.
And after that, the next step is to print the check or to generate a bank file and send it to the bank. After that, the next step is to run the costing process. Final process is the transfer to GL. Remember, any financial cost for any company has to be accounted for. Okay. Then we do a rollback process. Rollback process is to undo anything that you have done in the system. In the quick pay, if there was an error, we were doing a rollback.
Yes.
So yes, rollback not only applies to quick pay, it will apply to any payroll process.
Okay.
And a process can be rolled back only if no subsequent process or incomplete process exists. That means what? Suppose you ran a, let's say we ran a quick pay first. Okay. Then we ran the prepayment process.
Okay.
Now, if you want to roll back the quick pay, you have to first roll back the prepayment process, because that is the subsequent process. That is the next process. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Is this clear?
Yeah, but in the quick pay for the individual employee, we create a grade and everything, and then we'll run, right? In this payroll process, for the group of employees, how does it take? I mean, because for each and every employee, it will be separately mentioned, right? Not, it won't be the same for all. So how that does
Okay,
the
what we do is when we submit a payroll, we specify the name of the payroll. Let's say US payroll. That means it will look for those employees who belong to US payroll. Let's say there are 5 employees. It will first go to employee 1, pick up the element entries for that employee, as if it is going to run 5 different quick pays. What will quick pay do? It will look at the employee element entries and process it.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Same thing.
That is what.
Yes. So one by one, it will run for 5 quick pay. Payroll process behind the scene, it will process each individual employee one at a time. It will pick up, let's say 5 employees or 5,000 employees or 50,000 employees. And then it will process them together.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So this is the payroll process sequence. First is, and in the Fusion, we are calling it now flows.
Okay.
Flows means basically these are individual processes that we are running, and the flows, you can combine multiple processes into one flow. So when you combine the processes into one flow, you will be able to, either have a particular combination of individual flows, or you can have multiple processes and reports combined into one flow. Okay, so let's first look at the calculate payroll. What will calculate payroll do? It will process all earnings, deductions, taxes, elements, and so on. That is all the elements.
Okay.
Then it will come out with a net figure also. Like we see the SOE moment quick pay completes, we can see the SOE, right? Then we submit the prepayment process. What will prepayment process do? Prepayment process will look at the payment method of the employee, check whether it is employee or whether it is whether it is bank payment method or check payment method or cash payment method. And accordingly, if it is bank, it will send it, it will go to the bank transfer file. If it is a check, then it will wait to be printed. If it is cash, the cash has to be paid separately, right? Okay. So that is the prepayment process. Next, we do the archive payroll process. What is archive payroll process? Archive payroll process is basically keeping a copy of the data from the previous steps that we have done so far.
Okay, till prepayment.
After the archive is done, we will make the bank file. In India, we may call it ECS or EFT. In US and all, they call it NASHA or direct deposit. In UK also, they call it like direct deposit. Then we generate the pay slips. And then we do the costing of payment. Costing of payment is to generate the accounting transactions, debit, credit, it will do those generations, and it will be against the payment made to the individual banks.
Okay.
Then it will transfer to the subledger. So subledger is the point where we are transferring the data from HCM to financials.
Yeah.
Is the flow clear?
Yeah, just this sixth one, generate the
Hmm.
accounting
Hmm.
transactions.
Hmm.
So again, I didn't get there. So after generating payslips, you said something about the
Yes.
bank.
Actually, what happens when you generate the payslips, okay, then we do the costing.
Mm-hmm.
Costing process will generate the debit and the credit transactions.
Yeah.
To send to finance, just transfer to ledger. To send anything to the subledger, we have to transfer it to the financials as debit and credit, because these financial systems only understand debit and credit. They don't understand anything else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, all these processes, usually companies, they will either submit them one by one, which is time consuming, or they can do this number 8 that we have written at the bottom now. You see this right at the bottom?
Yeah, you say.
Submit a flow called US Simplified Payroll. US Simplified Payroll, which is a combination of 17 reports and processes that run one after another
Okay.
in a predefined sequence. That means what? The sequence is already defined, which will run first: payroll, prepayment, archive payroll process, EFT payment or bank, generate payment, generate the pay slips, then costing of payment, transfer to ledger, subledger. These are the processes. In between, there'll be reports like, element register report, element entries report, or your costing report. These are like, they will not process it. They will just show you the information on the system.
So altogether they are like 17.
Correct. This is a standard flow provided by Oracle, and one can create more flows like this as per our requirements.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Now, when we talk about costing, you can definitely expect, if you are talking about payroll, you can definitely expect questions about costing hierarchy. Okay. What does costing hierarchy mean? Costing hierarchy means that the accounting information that we enter, it can be entered in all these levels. How many levels are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7,
6,
8.
7, 8.
8.
8 levels. Okay. Earlier version of the EBS did not have 8. It had 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5 levels. From 5, they have now extended it to 8. But mostly people enter it either at payroll or at the element eligibility, and then at the assignment or the element entry level. So how does this work? This basically works like this. First, it will start looking at the individual elements and their accounting that has been entered in the system. Okay. Let's say our finance or our costing flex field is 4 segments. That means 4 parts are there: 01, 002, 1210, and 01. Okay. And against this, They want to do the costing. So when you run the costing process, what the costing process will do is it will start looking through the information that you have entered. For example, you have entered here 0100212101. It will first check whether there is an element entry, this costing information is there or not. If it is there, it will take it. If it is not there, it will go to the next higher level.
Oh, okay.
What is the higher level? Element.
Okay.
If something is there, it will take it from there. If it is not there, how will it go? Where will it go? It will go to the next higher level. So in this way, it will keep looking till it comes here, payroll. That is the highest level. That is why, if you remember, when we defined the payroll, there was a place where we had to enter the default account information for payroll. For the, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Let me see if I have that screenshot. No, I don't have it. In the payroll, we could enter the payroll.
We have taken that randomly actually.
Okay, I'll show you in the system. So where you can enter the information. Okay. So if the default is there, it means what? If the system will not find anything at the lower levels, it is definitely going to find something at the payroll level.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let me now. So we first go to payroll here. And inside the payroll, you have all the flows here. See this? This is submit the flow. And you can see the flow definitions over here, view flows. So suppose I want to look at the flow definition first, just to show you what is there, then we will submit it. No, sorry. View flows is to look at what people have submitted. there is a flow definition over here. Payroll flow patterns. In this, you will be able to see by legislative group or something without the legislative group, all the flow patterns that are defined here. So let's say we have something defined for like this one, CTS employee details. So when I click on this, I get a particular flow task. Against this, there is a task sequence. That means start, flow. What is the first task? What is the next task?
Okay.
Got it? And for each of them, we can have different parameters that will be passed in the flow. Effective date, payroll date, changes only or not, baseline only, and so on. These are parameters. That means parameters help you to choose which set of employees to process. So let's try and submit a flow now. I go to submit a flow. Can you see this? Submit a flow?
Yes, submit a flow.
So I click on submit a flow. And here I can choose a legislation for which I want to submit. Let's say I want to submit for GB. These are all for GB. Okay, that is Great Britain. If I want to submit for US, I will have to change this to US.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. See, these are individual processes are there. Calculate payroll, calculate prepayment. So you can submit them individually also. Okay. So if I try to submit a payroll process individually, I can just